Hey guys, it's Gloria. This is a new setup. It's crazy, right? I've been doing the same setup for like the past 5 years. So today I will be teaching you how to make Japanese milk bread with the help of King Arthur Flour's recipe. Definitely go check out the link in the description. And yeah, let's start. So, start by grabbing a small saucepan, and into that I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of water, 3 tablespoons of whole milk. I only had evaporated milk though. Personally, I haven't really noticed a difference in the bread, so that works too. Last thing we're gonna add is 2 tablespoons of flour. The original recipe says to use bread flour, but all-purpose flour works as well. So you don't have to buy a new flour for it. Remember to spin your pan before you bring it over to the stove. I set my heat to medium-high, but you can go low and slow if you're nervous about burning it. That's okay, whatever works for you. Okay, now this will thicken up very quickly, and I'm talking about 30 to 45 to maybe even a minute. Wait, no, not 30 minutes to 45. 30 to 45 seconds if you have your heat on medium-high like me. Now that our tangjang is all done thickening up, we're going to take it off the heat, and to that we're going to add half a cup of whole milk. Again, I'm using evaporated milk, but just quoting the recipe here. Some people like to wait until it's completely cooled, but that really takes too long because it's such a thick mixture, so I'm just going to add it in now. Also, adding the milk now kind of brings your tangjang to room temperature anyways, so why wait if you could do it right away? That's basically my thinking in this process. And while I was trying to get all the lumps out of the mixture, I decided it would be a good idea to taste it, and I 100% do not recommend trying it. When you have most of your lumps broken down and everything's close to room temperature, now's the time to add your egg. I tried to be fancy and crack with one hand, but that just ended up with me having egg all over my entire hand, and that is not a great feeling. 1 out of 10. For me, most lumps usually go away when I whisk the egg, but it always helps to whisk out as many as you can before adding your egg so you don't have to over-mix your egg, which I don't think I've ever had a problem with. But, it's better safe than sorry. Alright, we have our tangjang finished, so now it's time we set that aside and start working on our dry ingredients. I forgot to bring over my stand mixer, but you can use a spoon, your own hands if you want, but I think you would prefer using a stand mixer because, oh boy, there's a surprise ahead. To start our dough off, we're going to add 2.5 cups of flour, a 1/4 cup of sugar. Again, I was just trying to look cool, but I ended up pouring sugar everywhere but the measuring cup, so I'm just gonna guess that was about a 1/4 cup of sugar. And 1 tablespoon of yeast. Then we're gonna whisk that together so everything gets to know each other. What? I'm not trying to be Rachel Ray. What's going on here? The last dry ingredient that we're going to add is 1 teaspoon of salt. I added this at the end because I don't want the salt to kill my yeast, I guess. I don't know. That's what my mom told me, so that's what I'm doing. So, now you want to lock your bowl into the stand mixer and pour all your dry ingredients in. Then, attach your dough hook. And while your mixer is on the second speed, while your mixer is on the second speed, you want to slowly pour in your tangjang and let that become a dryish dough. I usually let that go for about a minute before chopping up and adding a 1/4 cup of melted butter. Ooh! And you just want to throw that in there as your dough is still mixing. Definitely remember to always pause and take a second to scrape down the sides so you don't have little bits of flour on the side and then your dough is not right, so always make sure to check on it. After you scrape down the sides, you want to set a timer for 8 minutes and place your mixer back on the second power toggle and leave it alone for those 8 minutes. Do not touch it. You want to make sure it's perfect, okay? After 8 minutes, your dough should look like this. Soft, buttery, delicious. Wait. No, please don't eat it. I didn't tell you to do that. Don't eat it. It looks delicious, but you shouldn't eat it. There you go. I usually take the dough out of the mixer after the 8 minutes to knead a little so I feel like I worked hard. If you want, you can fold the dough over itself to create a smooth ball. Remember to oil or butter the bowl and dough ball so it stays moist because you don't want a crust on the outside. That's not pleasant at all. After you're done greasing everything, cover the bowl and place it somewhere warm or in room temperature, but warm helps the yeast grow more, for 1 full hour. After a very long hour, this is our dough. It did rise about double the size-ish. I'm pretty sure you can see a difference, because I sure can. Take your dough out of the bowl, flatten it a little. Remember to give it a remember to give it a smack before walking away. Why did I write that? Why did I do that? Okay. Now it's time to weigh our dough. You don't have to do this, but you can obviously. Now's the time to weigh our dough. I'm going from yours to mine to ours. I don't know what's happening. Now's the time to weigh our dough. You don't have to do this. You can obviously eyeball every roll and make them roughly the same size. But no, I have to be extra. This is like my YouTube channel. I have to make it look like I know what I'm doing. My dough ball was roughly 180 ounces, I think. I didn't write it down. I really should have. But I divided them all roughly into 15 ounces each and made 12 even dough balls. So now this part's kind of important if you want like perfect smooth rolls. If not, skip this part, it's fine. You need to fold the dough over itself to create a smooth top, but the bottom's lumpy, uneven, not pretty at all. So if you like flip it over and you want to see the brown, you're just gonna see not pretty stuff. To fix that, you need to roll the dough on the counter with your hands caving over and constantly rolling and nudging it along the counter. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but you can just see me do it right there. It's really, for me, it's hard to explain, but whatever. For some reason, I struggled picking the right pan and laying the rolls out how I wanted them to. I decided to go with this large 10x10 pan. Nope. Okay, go into the 6x6 pan. That's too small, okay. Back to the 10-inch pan. Now we let these rest for 50 minutes. Yes, basically another hour of waiting, but trust me, it's definitely worth it for these rolls. Here's what they look like all risen. They are beautiful. Oh my god. I'm so proud. I feel like a proud mother, but you know, it's okay. We're moving on. Last thing we're gonna do to these uncooked rolls, why did I phrase it like that? Whatever. To make the batter or the egg wash itself, you're gonna need 1 egg, a tablespoon of water in a bowl, and you're just gonna beat that together. Oh, and there's my brother. Hi, Charles. How you doing? Now you want to brush every inch of the exposed rolls with the egg wash. And I'm saying exposed because you don't have to take the rolls out of the pan and coat the bottom, just the tops and the sides so everything browns up evenly. Finally, after all this time, you can put your rolls at the oven at 350 degrees or 176 Celsius for 28 to 32 minutes, or until they are gorgeous brown and puffy. While you're waiting for your rolls to bake, you can always make some butter to go along with it. This is definitely optional, but I 100% recommend it. If you choose to make garlic and honey butter, which is what I'm making, here's how you do it. To start, you need to grab half a cup of softened salted butter and divide it into 2 quarter-cup measurements, and then set both of the bowls aside. For the garlic butter, you're gonna need, obviously garlic. It's garlic butter. Come on, man, that's obvious. I have 2 cloves here, and I decided to grate them for some reason. Pretty sure I cut my finger in the process of doing this, so I definitely recommend mincing your garlic to avoid shredding your fingers. Ew. When you're all done chopping or grating your garlic, throw it all into 1 serving of butter and fold it, and then you can set that aside. To make your honey butter, this is like the easiest one. You just have to dump a tablespoon of honey into your second serving or quarter cup of butter and fold it in until it's all evenly distributed. Again, this is optional, but I like to make these little like butter rolls type things. I'm pretty sure there's an actual name for it, but either way, they are super simple, and in my opinion, they're adorable, honestly. So here it is. All you have to do is take a square of plastic wrap, plop all your butter in the middle, 1 serving of butter. Please don't mix the honey and garlic butter. You're going to want to spread the butter lengthwise, and remember to leave an inch of space on each side for the handles. I don't know why I wrote lengthwise, but, horizontally, Then you're going to want to fold the plastic wrap over the butter so everything's covered. So now that you have it folded and everything, you're going to want to hold the ends and drag the butter over the counter so it wraps itself up into a tight cylinder. Fold the sides and freeze your butter. Plop, fold, roll, freeze. You know the drill. Now's the moment you've all been waiting for. The rolls. They're out. Wow. Oh my, okay, I have to pat myself on the back. They are so beautiful. Oh my god. And to make them even prettier, which I know you're like, whoa, how can you do that? I'm just gonna brush them with some regular salted butter. That's it. Oh my god. Wow. I sprinkled a tiny bit of salt on top because I thought it'd make it look like a little more like fancy or whatever, but I don't know where it went. It left the building. It's gone. Here's my attempt of taking a fresh piping hot roll out of the pan, burning my hands in the process. That really hurt. I 100% failed on that. So I moved on to this roll. Half of it came out, but the other half said, you know, I'm good. I'm just gonna stay here. Have fun. So I had to use a fork to get it out of the pan. And that looks really, really, really sad. Wow. Oh my god. These rolls are honestly wonderful. They're fluffy, soft. It's a very basic roll taste in my opinion, but those are the best. You can definitely edit the recipe, add different things, experiment with the butters, add fillings even. I definitely plan to attempt making these maybe with some cinnamon or even honey. It's limitless. Do whatever you want. Then I tried it with garlic butter, honey butter. Both were good, but personally I prefer it plain, or maybe if you're feeling a little crazy with some Swiss cheese. But, you know, to each their own. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit longer than most, but I might be putting out more videos like this. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time. Bye!